Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Manasa. I'm here to start teaching on the topics like English grammar. Today we have scheduled class on English grammar. So let's start our English grammar classes with a basic topic called fundamentals of English. So what are fundamentals of English? Alphabets, isn't it? Alphabets are the fundamentals of English because to frame a word, to frame a sentence, anything, initially what we need? Alphabets. So there are 26 alphabets in English. So out of the 26 alphabets, we are having 5 vowels and 21 consonants. So with the help of these vowels and consonants, our basic learning will begin. So when we observe these alphabets, all the alphabet, the single alphabet together form some words. These words together form some sentences, and with the help of these sentences, we form paragraph. So when we start writing a sentence or we start writing a word by making use of this alphabet. So when we consider let us start writing a sentence. So when we start to write a sentence, firstly what we need to do is to begin the sentence with a capital letter. So that is the basic need in the English. That is, whenever we are starting a sentence, the starting letter of the sentence should always be with capital letter. And in the same way, when we are ending some sentence, when we are going to close some sentence, the last thing what we are going to do is to place a full stop. These two are basic needs to write a sentence. That is, we need to use a capital letter from in the beginning of the sentence, and we need to put a full stop at the end of the sentence. So this is one of the basic principles. So now, where, when, how do we use this capital letters? So whenever we are starting a sentence, we use capital letter. In the same way, whenever we are writing some words like, that is proper nouns. What are proper nouns? That is name of a person, place, name of a place, it may be a thing. So these were mentioned these are called as proper nouns. So all the proper nouns should be mentioned with a capital letter. For example, we are planning to call some person, write some person's name. Like, think you are writing my name, Manasa. So my name should be started with a capital letter. At the same time, we are talking about some place like Delhi, Vijayawada, anything. So here, the starting letter of the place name should be in capital letter. Sometimes when we talk about holy books like Gita, Bible, Bhagavad Gita, so here the starting letter of these names should be in capital letter. So capital letters must be used at the beginning of the sentence, and then the same time all the proper nouns should be started with a capital letter. Now rule number 3. Wherever in a sentence we use I, that is representing me or I, then that should be mentioned in capital letter in the sentence. So these are the 3 rules where we use capital letters. In the same way, when we are talking about something like God, so when we are describing his deeds or his activities, or whenever in a sentence we are speaking about God, so God is a creator. He is the administrator of the society. He rules people. So here we are saying he as a pronoun for God. So here he also should be he also should begin with a capital letter. That is, the H should be in capital letter. So when we are discussing or when we are writing topics related to God, and wherever in the place of noun called God, we use pronoun like he, his, that he or his should be mentioned in capital letter. So these are the basic rules where we need to start a sentence with a capital letter, or all the proper nouns should be begun with a capital letter, I, like using the word I, should be mentioned in capital letter. Whenever we are talking like sentences related to God, where we are using a pronoun called he or his, that he or his should be mentioned in capitals. In the same way, abbreviations, when we are talking about abbreviations, all the abbreviates should be mentioned in capitals, like IAS. So while we are abbreviating it, this should be given in capitals like I dot A dot S, and at the same time when we are expanding it, it should be mentioned in capital letters. So this is another rule where we have to use capital letters. So we have seen different rules, like initially we have to start a sentence with a capital letter. Wherever we use letter I to represent something like me or anything in a sentence, that should be mentioned in capital letter. Another thing where we have to use capital letters is whenever we are using proper nouns, there every proper noun should be started with a capital letter. Whenever we are describing something related to God and we are using pronouns like he or his, they also should be mentioned, that he or his also should be mentioned in capital letters. Now there is another rule what we have seen is whenever we are abbreviating certain sentences or certain words, that abbreviates should be written in, that abbreviations like IAS, IPS, so these abbreviations must be mentioned in capital letters. And at the same time, when we are saying English poetry, so when we want to represent something like rain, rain, go away, come again another day, when we are speaking in this poem, every line of the poem should be begun with a capital letter. So these are the rules where we need to use capital letters. This is the fundamental rule to learn grammar. Another thing is we need to use full stop whenever we are ending a sentence. So next thing what we are going to discuss is, so we have said that there are 26 alphabet where five of them are vowels and remaining 21 are consonants. So we write words with the help of these vowels and consonants. So we can write spellings or words with the help of these consonants and vowels. But whenever we write certain words, like whenever we spell or we make a word using some consonants, but the sound of the word will be determined by the, when we see a spelling like sand, so we cannot spell the word without stressing the letter A. If A is removed from spelling sand, so how can we read that? We cannot read that spelling. So vowel in a sentence, in a spelling, the vowel has great importance, that sound of a word is produced or it is mentioned with the help of vowels. So when we say a spelling like dry, we write that spelling dry with only related to consonants like D, R, Y. But the sound what we are producing from it is a sound of a vowel. So the sound is produced with the help of vowels. So what I mean to say is, so we can make words individually with consonants, but the sound what we are producing was determined like, so to say a word like dry, fry, when we are saying, finally the sound what we are producing is like a vowel sound, like I. Vowel sound I is produced. Basing on the sounds of the vowels, the words were classified as monosyllabic words, disyllabic words, trisyllabic words and polysyllabic words. When we say monosyllabic words, here only single vowel sound is produced. Example, see, roof, house, name. Here only one vowel sound is produced. When we say disyllabic words, where we observe two vowel sounds. Example, protect, profit. So here we say two words like protect, profit. So here two vowel sounds are observed. When we observe trisyllabic words, here three vowel sounds were observed, like buffalo, remember, remember. Here three vowel sounds were observed. At the same time, polysyllabic words, here a number of vowel sounds, that is more than three. If more than three vowel sounds were observed, then that is known as polysyllabic words. Example, irrespectable. See, this word has n number of words like irrespectable. So it is showing more than 3 vowel sounds. So it is known as polysyllabic words. So now in this class we have come to know what are the basics of our language. That is, alphabets are the basic thing. And next thing, these alphabets were classified as vowels and consonants. Basing on the vowel sound, the words were classified as monosyllabic, disyllabic, trisyllabic and polysyllabic. And we have learned where we need to use capital letters, and we also learned how to start a sentence and how to end a sentence. So in the next class we will start learning about parts of speeches. Thank you.